Talk to me about love. Good morning, friends of the social scene, and welcome back to my channel. It's always a pleasure to have you here in all the languages of the world. What are we talking about today? Let's talk about couple relationships. Let's talk about divorces. Let's talk about your partner. Who gets married, who doesn't. Today, having a written marriage contract is no longer as important as it used to be. If you didn't get married, you could hardly have children, right? My grandmother used to say that children born before marriage, that is, out of wedlock, were bastards. Bastard. That's what my grandmother used to say. If you were even just pregnant before marriage. For my grandmother, that was something that couldn't happen. First, you had to get married. The woman had to arrive at the wedding, pure and virgin and holy. Today, of course, we have evolved. We have evolved. It's no longer like that, fortunately. The marriage contract, because it is a contract, so start calling it what it is a contract, in which usually the man has everything to lose, especially in Italy. I want to discuss couple relationships. Many friends face divorces and separations, including unmarried parents. In Milan, separations are common, with people struggling to maintain long-lasting relationships. Since I have many friends and I see a lot of divorces, separations among unmarried parents, and today, I don't know what's happening in other countries, but it often happens that people are separating. They can't stay together long term. And why is this? And today, especially here in Milan, here in the city, I don't know what's happening in other countries, but it happens more and more frequently that people are separating, that they can no longer stay together, that they can no longer have a lasting couple life for many years. And why is this happening? Why does this happen? And why is this happening? Why is this happening? Surely the hierarchies have changed too, in the sense that there used to be a bit of the father figure. The man was the head of the family, who wears the pants in the house, right? That's how it was said. And the woman took care of the house a bit more. It happened many times that in order to support the family, the concept of being able to be together, many times a blind eye was turned. Especially women. Especially women. That's the truth, guys. We need to say things as they are on this channel. Let's speak the truth, especially women. Sometimes it also happened with men, in the sense that if a man caught his wife cheating, he rarely went for divorce. They would have a furious fight. Maybe there were even some hands involved, which should never be used, especially against women. But let's be honest, that happened too. But it rarely led to divorce. It was a shame if it could be kept secret, if it was resolved at home. And this was especially beneficial for the men, right? That women would get angry, lose it, and then they would make up and keep the family going. Today, it's no longer like that. Today, it's no longer like that. Today, women are rightly independent. They also work, almost all women work now. And since there's no longer a hierarchy, people accept less. Beyond infidelity, people are also accepting less in general, because now that women are on equal footing, they rightly say, but I work. I can easily be without you. So to be with you, you have to give me what I'm looking for. Women look for things that a man might provide for a while, but in the long run, it's hard to maintain that level, like thinking about your wife, always being loving, trying to understand her. Women are still looking for support from men, a mental thing. That's harder to maintain in the long run. When was the last time you thought about your wife? This morning I was there with artificial intelligence. I had it write a poem in Russian. I told it what to write and sent it to me, right? It's a small thought, but it's the kind of thing that makes you happy every now and then, right? Outside of the parties, bring her a flower, maybe. Dedicate a little time to her sometimes. In my opinion, every now and then, not all the time, because as a theorem goes, if you give too much, then they expect it and don't appreciate its value. But sometimes that little detail really makes a difference in the long run. Women are looking for that a bit, while men are looking for other things. It's hard to maintain this in the long run, especially today. And the woman herself has so many demands, many more than a man who, in the end, is a pretty simple, somewhat primitive creature, if you will. She also needs to understand that she has all these demands. That's fine. But you, could easily be alone without you. What do you add to her life? Probably the woman thinks, the things I want from a man, I give them to him. It's him who doesn't give them to me. But maybe he has different demands. Are you giving him what he asks for, or are you giving him what you want? Because he has different demands. The same goes for men, right? What are you giving to the woman? What you want? Or her requests? This is the hardest thing to understand and maintain. If you can understand and maintain this, you're already a big step ahead in being able to last over time. Today, divorce and separation are no longer a disaster. Yes, it can be done. There are so many solutions. In my personal opinion, when there are children involved, if there are no children, then if you can't get along anymore, you just go your separate ways. And that's that. And problems are zero. House splitting up money, nonsense. Money is just nonsense that can be sorted out. So that's not a big problem. If there are children, solutions can be found, right? I know a lot of people. They spend 3 days with me, 3 days with her, then we take turns for the weekends, and then I go to see them. You too. Unlike before, when, especially women, dedicated themselves to the children. A woman's life was all about being a mom, right? Today, it's not like that for women anymore either, because rightly or wrongly, however you want to see it, the woman says, I'm a mom, but I want to go to my Pilates class. I want to have an aperitif with my friends. I want to have a life because I work hard. I hustle. I come home. I take care of the kids. And sometimes there has to be a minute for me too. Or what are we doing? Am I just living a life of sacrifices? They also have their own requests, rightly so. As a result, separation often becomes an advantage for them because 3 days a week or one weekend every two, they're free since the kids are with you and they get to be free too. Besides working and being a mom, they can also take some time for themselves. Is this good for the children? How will these children grow up? This is what you need to ask yourselves. Many grow up just fine. Especially they become more independent because today we tend to be a bit too overbearing with the kids. They manage to become more autonomous and grow up faster. Once, I'm not saying they just threw us out on the street, but there were families. My grandmother had 11 kids, and my grandfather had 9, if I remember correctly. You understand that when you have 11 kids, it's not like you just throw them out on the street, but they learn to fend for themselves. In the end, they sort themselves out. It's not like you're there. Today, if you have one, it's already a miracle. Before they had 11 kids, it's quite different. But you know, when you're separated and you have a child, even when you scold them, they take advantage of it because rightly so. Kids can be a bit silly and they exploit that. So if you scold them, they might do something on the other side and then you end up giving in a bit more because otherwise you're afraid of losing a certain relationship since you see them some days. Yes, some days no. How do these kids grow up? Tell me I'm lucky enough not to be separated for now. Write to me. I'm curious. Let me know what you think of these couples who separate. Whether it's right this way or if we should maybe sometimes swallow a few frogs to keep the family together, I tend to think more like that. I still think that the concept of family, especially for the children, should be kept solid without limiting their freedoms too much. If my wife asked me, can I go to a friend's in Hamburg? Go on, how long have you been? A month, 2 months, 6 years? No, 2 days. No, like 2 days. Of course, I'm joking, but just stay calm. You also need to have a bit of trust, a bit of peace of mind, because otherwise it's hard to have a couple's relationship, in my opinion. All right, let me know your thoughts. Today I'm feeling a bit reflective, sometimes we make some fun videos, sometimes a bit more reflective, and sometimes a bit of both. Be good. See you tomorrow morning at 7, as always. And for those who haven't seen the old videos, maybe because they just got to know me, of course, subscribe to the channel. You'll find all the videos. And there, with time, you can watch them anytime.